North America has a beating heart hidden and protected in the wilderness of the Great Rocky Mountains. Some of the continent's largest animals find refuge here. In the short days of autumn, while the coming cold closes in, the animals stalk each other in a bid to survive. These are the legends of the fall. It is just after dawn in the Rocky Mountains. The autumn air is filled with promise and with threat. Winter's sharp edge is cutting its way down from the north. And every animal here knows the seasons are on the move. But the coming cold and snow is just one of the battles they face. It is also mating season, and the males are entering single combat for the rights to females. The bellows of bulls and the clash of horns echo from valley walls. For all these animals, the next 24 hours are the critical juncture between summer's days of plenty and winter's cold days of desperation. From as far south as New Mexico, stretching north all the way to Alaska, 4,800 kilometers of mountain, valley, and plain make up the Great Rocky Mountains. In autumn, the ranges far north can already be cloaked in snow, while its southern reaches are still enjoying an Indian summer. The wild mustangs are both strangers and heirs to this land. This is where modern horses first evolved 4 million years ago, only to go extinct. But not before they had invaded Europe and Asia, and ultimately returned here to their homeland. As many as 30,000 of them now roam America's wilderness. They came as livestock, but have reverted to their wild state. This pinto stallion is a leader and has guided this band of horses for many seasons. At 15 years, he is old for a wild horse and close to the end of his reign. But it is not winter and death that stalk him. It is worse, a usurper that may force him from the close comfort of his family. The old pinto challenges the intruder, and it does not retreat. At 15 hands and over 450 kilos, this young stallion does not bow to anything. A clash between rearing, kicking male mustangs can be deadly. The pinto sees off his challenger. But there will be another attempt. The same age-old battle is playing out in the snowy heights of the mountains. The Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep has mastered the near-vertical world of cliffs and chasms. Fleet-footed and agile, these mountain sheep avoid predators by living where few other creatures dare to tread. It takes a dogged animal to scratch an existence out of bare rock and weed. But bighorn sheep are the height of headstrong. For as long as a day at a time, rams will go horn to horn. The clash can be heard over 1.5 kilometers away. They can launch themselves at more than 32 kilometers per hour, led by a pair of horns that may equal the rest of the ram's skeleton in weight. These rams survive by having double-layered skulls with reinforcing struts. All of this to overcome a usually dominant ram. The prize is a chance to mate with a female for fleeting seconds. A tactic that ensures the strongest males and the luckiest all get to breed. There is a new sound in the valley today, one not heard in years. The hunters are hungry. Few animals in the Rockies have fought for survival like the wolves. Once exterminated from the entire American West. Today, there are more than 1,800 wolves living in more than 300 different wolf packs. This army runs on its stomach, and it has a hunger for just one animal above all. At 10 a.m. in autumn, the sun is still low on the horizon, far to the north in the Canadian Rockies. A massive snowstorm has already thickly blanketed the mountains. It's a migratory cue for one of the largest animals here. If this gang of elk must dig through snow to find their morning meal, then it is time for them to move. They migrate to lower altitudes where they can find plenty of grass and shrubs that are not too buried in snow. It may be a journey of over 300 kilometers. This gang numbers in the hundreds. Like all elk herds, it is led by a single, strong matriarch. And tracked by their ancient destroyer. In recent decades, the main killer of elk was winter itself. But today, they die to the wolves. The pack follows the elk herd, dividing it and testing it, watching for which animal is slow, injured, or old, signs that will reduce it to prey. It is more than an attack. It is a bloody and ancient relationship between these two animals. This morning, the wolves failed to reduce the elk numbers. But they are here for the long hunt, so they will test and test again, until an elk makes a mistake. Across the mountains, the earth trembles under the power of massive animals in rut. This Colorado forest is one of the most southerly holdouts for one of the largest circumpolar animals. Moose are the giants of the world's deer species. They can stand almost 2 meters at the shoulder and weigh over 800 kilos. The larger the antlers, the fitter the bull. A prime bull can carry a rack almost 2 meters wide. Many times, just the antler size alone will cause another bull to back away. But when two animals of matching size face off, a battle ensues. Bloodied, bruised, but victorious, the winner has defended his harem for another day. The moose cows are calling for him. He can smell them. Today, he can enjoy the mating privileges he has won. Far to the north, the wolf pack is still harrying the elk, chipping away at them to discover the weakest link. This yearling has lost the vital protection of the herd. Its tormentors know they have won. As the sun climbs higher and the day warms, more animals arise. Meadow voles are one of the most common. In peak years, there may be over 150 voles per half-hectare in some habitats. While the fresh snow is an impediment for many animals, for a burrowing vole, it's an extra layer of insulation and protection. At the base of the snowpack, there's still a meadow of food, safe from the prying eyes of predators. But not their ears. Foxes can hunt voles by sound alone. Their methods are unique. They have three-dimensional hearing and can detect the direction of a vole or mouse beneath the snow, as well as the distance to the prey. A very handy thing to know when it launches itself face first into a snowdrift. But the fox has nothing on the great grey owl above. Where the fox appears to detect voles at a distance of 1 meter, this owl can do the same from up to 50 meters, even through deep snow. It silently launches towards its target, tracking and correcting its angle for the perfect hit. Small rodents comprise 80 to 90% of the great grey owl's diet. The great grey is the largest owl in these mountains, but it is seldom seen. Like the wolves, it is another grey ghost that waits and watches to deliver a fatal blow. There will be more ghosts on the prowl here. On a mountain ridge between the valleys, a subtle predator stalks. With a population as high as 3.5 million, bobcats are one of the most widespread, yet rarely seen carnivores in the United States. These little hunters are hare and rabbit specialists. They track prey using their eyes and their ears, so this rabbit can't easily hide from the cat's senses. Neither animal is well adapted for a chase through snow, so the winner of this death race is relying on luck. even with 4 lucky rabbit's feet. In the snow, this bunny loses the race. The big freeze has already begun. Broken ice drifts downstream from the higher headwaters. It is a treacherous time. An elk carcass floating in a pond is drawing in the wolves. The waters around it look frozen. But ice this thin is too dangerous for the 45-kilo wolves. The smaller coyotes have an advantage. If only they could work together. From out of the White Hills, a grizzly arrives. A massive animal. He doesn't fear the cold. He's laid on fat. He can swim. And he may be the only animal in the Rockies that has the strength to pull this massive meal ashore. The bear and the smaller scavengers all win this afternoon. The wolves must travel further afield. The deep snow is in their favor. Where white-tailed deer sink into the snowpack with every step, the wolves' broad feet act like snowshoes. A pack like this could take down a moose. So America's smallest deer species is an easy catch. This carnivore is a connoisseur. They want the deer's organs more than anything. Each wolf will eat over 9 kilograms of meat before it must rest. They will return to the carcass until there is nothing but hide, rumen, and bones. Many animals in the Rockies respond to the coming cold by migrating away from winter. Others hunker down. The beaver is second only to humans in its ability to manipulate the environment. So it will take the coming winter head on. All autumn long, they have been hiding their winter supplies at the bottom of this pond. The forever chilly water will keep their twig and leaf larder fresh until it is needed. And they have been adding to their beaver lodge fortress, built in deep water to protect them from marauders with a taste for beaver. The grizzlies are already on the move. Even giant moose give the family a wide berth. They are following the scent of food. Grizzlies are omnivores with one of the most varied diets in the mountains. From bison to bugs and berries, they are happy. But beaver is also on the list. With a breath hold of up to 15 minutes, beaver are virtually untouchable. They can use deep water escape paths and underwater entrances to the beaver lodge. These bears can smell food from kilometers away. They know it's nearby. But their hunt is diverted by another smell coming off the ice. A small and rotting trout is discovered. There are more to be had. And celebrations, by the look of it. Many predators are drawn to the rivers this time of year as fish die in response to the cold. The American bald eagle is one of those predators. It can grow over 1 meter tall, with an almost 2.5 meter wingspan. Headed for extinction in the 1960s, the bald eagle has been rescued so well that there may be 10,000 nesting pairs in the lower 48 states. Bald eagles prefer fish, but this time of year brings a special opportunity to catch something larger. This afternoon, they are forming up for a feast. These American coots are unaware of what danger comes. The gathering of birds may bring safety for the flock, but individual coots are not so lucky. Bald eagles are adept thieves, so a single coot may be caught, fought over, and dropped 6 times before it's even eaten. But the coots may get the ultimate revenge. They can pass bacteria to the eagles that will eat at their motor skills, impairing their ability to walk and fly, and ultimately killing them. The spectre of death in these mountains always casts a long shadow. And that shadow is lengthening because the autumn sun is dropping from the sky. The dark of night will bring many dangers and a deeper cold. Far to the south, the heavy snows of winter have yet to strike. Autumn weather still dominates in the mountain valleys of Colorado. But the animals are preparing for what's to come. There is more than just snow coming this way. A coyote has already heard the telltale sounds of mice. And the scent begins to draw it in. A mere snack for the coyote, but no wild hunter passes up a meal. The little animals are wise to hide. This squirrel's treetop fortress is but a house of leaves. No impediment to a red-tailed hawk. But this nest has a trapdoor. And this squirrel is nobody's meal. The hawk will go hungry because its day of hunting is now over. Night falls early in the mountains this time of year, as if even the sun must retreat from the coming cold. But the wolf packs of the Rockies don't retreat, they advance. For animals like wolves that are guided more by their noses than their eyes, darkness is just a tool they can use to their advantage. The raid finds a lone female elk. She has little chance of escape in the snow and dark, with a pack of the world's largest dogs on her tail. Some animals, like these prairie dogs, find their safety underground. The cold can't easily get to them, and they are protected from many predators. But American badgers don't know the meaning of defeat. They are virtually indefatigable when they're on the hunt. It's a furred bulldozer versus a town of cute and cuddlies. And they are smart, too. Prairie dogs post sentries to ensure the sleeping colony is safe from nasty surprises. And their clever escape tunnels mean that after a night of digging, it's the badger that is in for a big surprise. In the southern reaches of the Rockies, one little animal has taken predator avoidance to new heights. This tiny squirrel can hardly defend itself. But it has a secret. It has mastered a skill that usually eludes mammals. When it needs to flee, it can fly. It can cover 50 meters in a single leap. Both its tail and the skin between its arms and legs act like wings. This squirrel's airborne existence is only temporary, but it does give us a sneak peek at the origins of the mountain's only true furred flyer. Bats own the skies at night. They are highly specialized hunters. A single colony may hold up to 700 individuals. At night, they fly forth to demolish the local insect population. Just one small bat can eat up to 3,000 insects in a single night. But this is a high-tech arms race. The bats have evolved echolocation, high-frequency sound that they can use like radar to locate prey in the dark. Their powerful ears let them detect the reflected sound of their chirp. The quicker the sound bounces back to them, the closer they are to their target. But they have also given themselves away to the moths. The moths can hear all their noise as well, and turn the bat's information gathering back on itself. though taking a dive is not always a surefire escape plan. Bats can drink from lakes and ponds mid-flight, so snatching a downed moth is a simple task. The night still has many cold hours to go and many secrets to reveal. Because tonight's the night the grizzly bears have their picnic. In the dark of night, a grizzly bear stalks a Montana Valley floor. These bears are considered daylight hunters, but thermal cameras can pierce the dark and reveal they are active well into the night. As winter approaches, the bears must eat as much as possible in preparation for their long sleep. The wolves have abandoned their elk kill, so the bears will take advantage of it. But grizzlies have a hierarchy based on size. They are not territorial, but grizzlies do demand some personal space. Even other bears are not welcome to encroach. The elk carcass is drawing in bears from across the hills. It must be defended again and again. The carcass will attract the interest of the meat-eaters in this valley until it is gone. As sunlight dawns on a new day in the mountains, life's countdown is reset. Every 24 hours bring as much death as life. And already the battle for survival has begun afresh. The bears have moved on, but the elk carcass is still drawing in scavengers. Coyotes scent the meat on the breeze and follow it. They don't readily form packs like wolves, so the coyotes may arrive at the carcass in ones and twos. The dance for ownership of the second-hand kill can become ferocious. Crows and eagles must all wait their turn. American bald eagles are committed scavengers. The wolf pack is now returning to its kill to feed again. These animals are all thieves, and they are wise to be gone. Life here is as tough and rugged as the mountains. But with winter arriving, even the strong are in jeopardy. The generosity of the wilderness has turned cold as ice. The ancient watershed of the Nile River is famous as a cradle for early civilization. But this cradle can also be a grave. The Nile is a cruel mistress for all the animals that live on it. She floods with lessons of life, and then withers to teach hardship and loss. A journey of just 24 hours along the shores of this fabled waterway will reveal one of life's ultimate truths: that all things merge into one, and a river runs through it. Tension is running high in the Nile. The seasonal rains have not yet come. Dominant males, used to commanding their own space, are forced into shrinking pools of water. A spinning tail, showering all around with water and dung, is an early warning sign. More than 500 kilos of bite force can turn these clashes deadly. But not this time. Those celebrations for this beach master may be premature. From Egypt south, the inhabitants of the Nile are waiting on the rains that will soon fall beyond Lake Victoria. Covering more than 65,000 square kilometers, Victoria is the largest tropical lake on Earth. The enormous swarms of lake flies above Victoria are time-honored indicators that the rains will soon be here. Just 25 square kilometers of the lake may release 20,000 tons of lake flies. The larvae have spent their lives at the bottom of the lake, but to multiply, they must ascend through shoals of greedy fish. The survivors break through the surface film, shrug from their larval skin, and emerge as winged flies, ready to mate. The emergence has far-reaching effects and is a major food source for animals across the region. High in Uganda's Ruwenzori Mountains, the flies, and more, are captured. The flies become food, but the mountains themselves capture evaporated water from Lake Victoria and return it to the land. Funneling it downhill into a torrent that flows Nileward. The Nile drains a full tenth of the African continent, creating a 6,500 kilometer-long river, one of the largest on Earth. Despite the river's might, it winds through some of Africa's driest lands, barely lifting them out of the dust. And today, it is at a low ebb. It is not a fertile river. It is a harsh and desperate river. If the floods don't come, disaster will. Hippopotamus means river horse. The hippos need permanent access to water to survive. At this time of year, the Nile's first trickle comes with storm clouds breaking over the savannah. The downpour cuts through the equatorial heat and quenches everything that lives here. These are the rains that trigger the great wildebeest migration. And it is the rains that create their biggest obstacles. The wildebeest mass on one bank, but none wants to make the first move. For good reason. The largest of these Nile crocodiles is nearly 6 meters long and hungry. He has seen many wildebeest migrations come and go, and he knows the routine. They need to get to the grazing on the other side. His trap is set, and his time is soon. The rains that are tempting the wildebeest forward flow into the Nile, feeding it and marking the beginning of the end of the dry season. More than 800 kilometers away, the Nile flows into one of the largest wetlands in the world, the Sud of South Sudan. Here, the river wanders, almost lost in a near-endless ocean of papyrus reeds, providing shelter for enormous populations of fish. When the water level rises, it releases unusual captives. This lungfish has been cocooned in dry mud and mucus underground for months. Primitive lungs allow it to breathe air as it searches for the nearest pool. But reaching water doesn't mean safety. The shoebill stork is a giant of the swamp. Over 1 meter tall, its huge bill increases the chances of success. The generosity of the Nile will soon run out, because less than half of the water that enters the Sud flows out the other side. Downstream from here, the land is drier and life will be much, much harder. As midday approaches, the big animals of the Nile all want to sunbake. The hippos can even secrete their own sunblock to protect them from sunburn. But another party has stolen their favorite spot. And it's a party of the largest predators in Africa. Hippos can be grumpy, but they are also patient. Over the course of an hour, the hippos build up their troops until the crocs are surrounded. A hippo kill would feed all of these crocs, but they are not the bosses here. They are outmatched by heavyweight sun-seekers. Another male from a dwindling nearby pool arrives. But this is now a private beach, and the beach master doesn't have to share. This giant animal must be expelled. Again, a territorial shower of dung and urine to mark the front line of this dispute. The hippo's pile marks more than one animal's territory. For the Nile's many dung beetles, home is just a series of rich mounds of excrement. It is their single food source, and it is so much more. Ball after ball rolls unerringly across the landscape, each one an investment in the continuation of the species. One of the rare animals guided by polarized light, even standing on its head and walking backwards, the dung beetle can roll its way home, where the dung ball becomes a creche for the next generation. Once implanted with dung beetle eggs, the hippo droppings will provide both food and protection to baby beetles. Each dung deposit the beetles make is also a much-needed delivery of nutrients to the landscape. The landscape's reliance on these beetles for its survival makes them a keystone species living among giants. As the sun moves overhead at midday, an oppressive heat blankets Africa's longest river. But there is another place to cool down. From mountains over 800 kilometers away, a second tributary to the Nile drains from Lake Tana in the Ethiopian highlands. This is the fabled Blue Nile. The land here is dry and cool for much of the year. The herds of wildebeest that live around the White Nile don't belong here. What the Blue Nile does support is an incredible density of rodents. Giant mole rats in particular. And feeding upon them is one of the rarest predators in the world. The Ethiopian wolf. Fewer than 500 remain. Catching the mole rat requires exquisite timing. They only venture above ground to forage for 20 minutes at a time. They then retreat underground and close the door behind them. But the Ethiopian wolf is not so easily avoided. Where most canines will hunt by smell, this wolf uses sound to find its underground prey. She is listening intently for sounds of subterranean activity. And when the mole rat pokes its head up, the rabies and distemper of domestic dogs are decimating the Ethiopian wolf population. But for today, this wolf mother is healthy and can return to her rambunctious family with food. In the southern reaches of the Nile catchment, the wildebeest must avoid the crocodiles if they are to continue their migration. But in this part of the river, there is something far more dangerous. Adult wildebeest become 270 kilos of desperation as each meets the water. The weight of numbers makes it difficult. Always there are animals pressing forward from behind. And the water is swift. Too swift. The current sweeps them downstream, where there is no easy exit. The crossing becomes a death trap. Thousands of animals with no way out kick and drown each other in panic. Hundreds of wildebeest are already crushed and dying on the riverbank. For the animals that survive the crossing, the reward is the freshly green savanna and a large pride of lions. This is the lion's time of plenty too. Or it should be. This pride has a problem, familiar across the animal kingdom. Unruly adolescence. But this gang of hooligans is worse than unruly. They're useless. They seem far more interested in causing trouble than catnapping through the hot afternoon. And Mum and Dad's patience is running out. They have no idea, but they are being watched very closely. Some of the females are pregnant, and the pride cannot afford these delinquents if they cannot contribute. The hooligans spot some zebra nearby, and they appear to have failed to grasp the basics. Broad daylight plus short grass is a recipe for failure. This young lioness is too impetuous. She starts her run far too early. The zebra are now fully aware of the lion's presence. The hooligans are costing the pride dear. If they do not prove their worth tonight, something will have to be done. In the forests around the Nile's Murchison Falls, a more deadly river flows. Almost anything this stream of ant washes over can be prey. These are Africa's driver ants, and they are legion. Existing in colonies that may number in the millions of individuals, they are possibly the largest insect swarm on Earth. Most victims are brutally dismembered and carried back to a hungry brood by the rank and file. Workers do the lifting, while heavy-set guards protect the army's lines. But against these hard-bodied aggressors, some of the jungle's most gentle wanderers use an unlikely armor. Under attack, this slug begins to drop volumes of slime from its body, laying an adhesive trap for its tiny assailants. But, as if infuriated, the ants come on in greater and greater numbers. Resistance is futile. When the stressed slug's slime gives out, it is butchered for the benefit of the colony. But these are not mindless marauders. The ants also rush in to rescue their fallen sisters. They dry the slime with dirt and peel it away as it hardens to release their comrades. For this army of efficiency, waste is not allowed. Mid-afternoon in the Nile, and temperatures are sky high, as are tempers. The standoff between the beachmaster and the interloper has broken open. The challenger takes an increasing amount of punishment. He flees for his life. But the damage may be mortal. In a final humiliation, a juvenile tastes his deep wounds, while he is too injured to respond. The next creature in line may not be so gentle. Night has fallen across the Nile. The dark may bring no rest for the animals, because it hides hunters. Tonight should be the right time for the hooligan lions to hunt. But there's a bad moon rising. And it's full. Too much light for hunting. Under the glowing light, they are visible from a great distance. But the hooligans are desperate for something to creep up on. And their mother has already had enough of them. Predatory instincts are coursing through their veins, if only they could find a suitable target. But this is a very dangerous game. The mother hippo will defend her calf and can easily kill a young lion with a single snap of her jaws. One of the big male lions watches the performance. The impetuous young lioness attacks first, and only gets the butt end of the encounter. The male looks on with disapproval. He will soon make the problem go away. Thousands more wildebeest are entering the same deadly current that has swept their relatives away. The best grass is still in the distance, so they must press forward. Just as before, they are carried downstream to a point with no exit. A casualty trapped in the shallows arouses interest. a red-blooded herd animal mired in the mud. A gift of manna for hungry Nile crocodiles. This is rich prey that has little chance of escape. But this wildebeest's twin lights of destiny retreat. Why risk attacking a still living animal when the river is awash with meat already? The next mark for the adolescent mob is a large male buffalo, normally a no-no. They would need a full-grown male lion to lend a shoulder to bring it down. But they face the gouging horns and trampling hooves nonetheless. The buffalo are now alerted. They know lions are near and will be much harder for the rest of the pride to hunt. The hooligans have cost their family a vital chance for a meal. But the teenagers' chances are now gone too. The big male grunts his territorial warning call. A call he uses to send intruding lions off his land. But tonight, for the first time, it is leveled at his own, promising clear and present danger. The callow youths will not argue with 250 kilos of tooth and muscle. The hooligans' time in this pride is over. The toughest days of their lives are about to begin. A deathly sun rises on the hippo challenger. He has breathed his last. Today, he is flotsam. By tomorrow, this great beast may be gone. As the crocs continue to feast on the vanquished, downstream, the king enjoys the perks of his reign. The annual flood will soon be here, and his challengers will disperse. He has made it through another year. Now he can celebrate. Daylight finds the wayward lions alone. The good news is that they have made a kill. The bad news, it's a monitor lizard. They show no real interest in eating it. Instead, they treat it more like a plaything, a trophy to be fought over. For these new lions of the Nile, the hunger pangs will soon set in. But for the river's more ancient species, their feast has already arrived. The deadly current has created an enormous larder for the crocodiles. In the tug of war to make the most of the windfall, they help each other to rip meat into bite-sized chunks. One holds as the other spins like an auger. For these low-energy hunters, this morning's feast can sustain them for months. Just part of the design that's allowed them to outlast the dinosaurs. But they are not the most deadly thing here. The most deadly thing here is the river itself. It is the great giver and taker of life. A conduit across Africa that brings fortune to all of its animals. Though not all of the Nile's fortunes are to be desired.